Hello, ladies and gents. So today I was doing pretty much absolutely nothing. And I thought I should, keynote, write down keynotes for my next YouTube video. And so I was wondering, I had a couple of ideas because I got this journal recently, so I can just quickly be like, oh, here's a one sentence, real quick idea. It might be a little too overexposed on white paper, but there's titles up here. And so, I fleshed out a whole video here. And I wasn't sure when I was going to make it because I wasn't sure when I was going to have time to make this video. So I was like, great, I have it all fleshed out. I'm ready to make this video whenever it's at my earliest convenience. Well, today, you can already tell by the title, today is about NASA's, if you can't tell by the shirt that I'm wearing, I like NASA. I think it's cool. I was, it was late at night and I was like, maybe I should just make this video tonight. Who knows? I'm not doing anything tonight. And then I go on Twitter. I go on freaking Twitter. And Donald J. Trump himself has tweeted about a topic that I'm about to talk about. So I just thought, why not include the tweet? He said, for all the money we are spending, NASA should not be talking about going to the moon. We did that 50 years ago. They should be focused on much bigger things we are doing, including Mars, of which the moon is a part, defense, and science. Science makes sense. Defense, what? Huh? Defense? What are we freaking defending our planet from Martians? What is Trump? So, leads us into the actual video. If you don't know, in 2017, Trump asked NASA to ramp up their plans to go to Mars. Because, I don't know, I guess we're at Space Race 2.0. Who knows? So he's like, dude, ramp it up. And then, so NASA released this plan. I'll drop a link to the website below. We're going to Mars, my dudes. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So, to get to Mars, they're using a new spacecraft, the Orion spacecraft. The new Orion spacecraft is going to carry astronauts to Mars. We're not sending astronauts in the Orion from Earth. They're actually leaving. They're going to fly from the moon to Mars, which is why the mission's called Moon to Mars. There's two new rockets. There's the Orion, but the Orion will be carried by the SLS. Currently, the SLS can carry 26 tons, which is 57,000 pounds. But in future upgrades, they think it's going to be able to carry 46 metric tons, which is 99,000 pounds of cargo. That's a lot of stuff. So they're going to fly up to the moon, and then they're gonna build something called Gateway, and then from Gateway they're going to launch a mission from Gateway to Mars. So here's their current plan. In 2019, they're going to send scientific instruments to the moon ahead of the human return. So that's by the end of this year. Then in 2020, they're going to send Artemis 1, which is the first mission to the moon of many. Right now, they've outlined Artemis 1 through 8. I believe Artemis is like the sibling of Apollo. So Artemis 1 is going to send scientific instruments to the moon ahead of human return in 2020. Then in 2022, there's going to be two missions. So one of the two missions in 2022 is they're going to send the SLS with a crew to do a different path around the moon, and take in some measurements and stuff, and then it's going to come back. The second mission in 2022 is they're going to send the first piece of Gateway. So Gateway is going to go into space and it's going to test solar powered rocket propulsion as well as other. I honestly not 100% understand a lot of this stuff, but first piece of Gateway is going in 2022 also. Then in 2023, we have another big year. There's two missions. One mission is going to send a rover to the moon to test water samples to see, to check the, I don't know, pH balance. I don't know, something about the water. Look at the stuff. See what we can make out of it. Currently, they believe that we can take the ice out of the moon and then split it into purify it for drinking water for the people on Gateway, but also split it into hydrogen and oxygen to make breathable oxygen, as well as turn the hydrogen into jet fuel. Also in 2023, the second Gateway element's going to go up. The second Gateway element will dock an astronaut astronaut with the power and propulsion element and prepare an astronaut for mission to lunar's south pole. So, yeah, long story short, in 4 years, we're going to be sending an astronaut onto the lunar south pole. That's 4 years from now. And also, we're going to have like most of like a small space station built in the orbit of the moon because both gateway elements will be up there. Then in 2024, it's going to be something called the Human Landing System. And it's going to be actually multiple rockets going on under like one mission. It's like not like. So multiple rockets are going to go up to the gateway, which is the thing orbiting the moon by then. They're going to go to gateway. They're going to assemble multiple rockets full of material are going to assemble onto gateway to create a larger station, create a single unit, and prepare to take astronauts to the lunar surface. Then in 2024, Artemis 3 is going to go up, and it's going to take a whole crew to check out gateway and the human landing system, the entire cabin. They're going to check all the stuff, make sure it all works, and they're going to take a whole crew down to the surface to the moon in 2024. In 2025, Artemis 4 is going to go up to establish a sustainable lunar human presence, which I don't know what that means. We going to have people living on the moon? Probably not. I don't think anyone's going to live on the moon. What it looks like is they're just going to have a bunch of instruments on the moon and multiple rovers, which will then be gathering water, I believe. Then in 2026, 2027, and 2028, Artemis 5, 6, and 7 are all going to go up to Gateway. They all are just said to conduct expeditions from Gateway to lunar surface. So even though they updated the website recently and they added a bunch of new missions, they unveiled that they're all called the Artemis missions. Artemis 5, 6, and 7 aren't really actually defined yet. They're just going to be conducting expeditions. I don't know what that means. So by 2028, they want to develop a sustainable lunar presence, and by the 2030s, they want to launch a mission from Gateway to Mars. They kind of explained it in one of the videos that like basically if we're going to send someone to Mars, like talking fuel wise, the most economic way to do so will be to not launch it out of the moon or Earth's orbit, because you have to use up a lot of fuel to get them past gravity, getting off Earth, and then less fuel, but still fuel getting off the gravity of the moon, as well as getting out of orbit. So what they're going to do is they're going to take Gateway, which will be orbiting the moon, and then they're going to balance it perfectly between the moon and Earth. I don't know what that means. So basically, they're going to leave the moon's orbit, and they're going to find where there's the least resistance from Earth or the moon pulling them back, and they're going to launch a mission from Gateway, and then they're going to bring Gateway back to the moon. So that they can continue to synthesize rocket fuel, send up more missions, build more ships, start sending them to Mars. Okay, hey guys, just wanted to I'm editing the video right now, and I just wanted to kind of say a couple things I didn't say while I still had the mic and stuff out, but I don't really feel like setting it all back up to just, do this one little thing. The reason that I read the Trump tweet at the start of this video is because this video I wanted to show why going to the moon is kind of a pivotal part of getting us to Mars. And I just think it's really dumb that Trump would tweet that, because he knows that NASA has a plan to get to Mars right now, and he knows that going to the moon and doing all this stuff at the moon is pivotal. And yeah, we did it 50 years ago, but we're going to do a lot of stuff we've never done on the moon in the coming years. And also, if we don't go to the moon first, we're not going to get to Mars. Sorry if the video is kind of different. Quality's probably different. Sorry, but just wanted to say that. Now, here's where I'm going to go off the beaten path, and I'm going to say what I understand to mean what's about to happen, but I'm not 100% sure. But it sounds like what they mean is that eventually, once we've sent enough missions to Mars, once we've proven we can get there, we're going to kind of pull what we're doing with the moon with Mars. We're going to start sending parts of Gateway to Mars and establish a orbiting Mars living place to do scientific stuff. And sustainably live near Mars. And so then we're going to have basically two gateways, one by the moon, one by Mars, and we're going to send people between them and then go down to both the surf. Yeah, I just think it's a really cool thing. I don't know if you guys will, but I'm here to do videos about what I think is cool, and this is what I think is cool. So, yeah, I made a video about it. Bill, signing out.